Hi, welcome. Today's video is about the settings of the gun or the modifications of the gun. I keep getting a lot of questions as to what are the combinations of modifications that work on a gun, especially rifles. Pistols, we don't get too many questions. All the questions relating to shooting, the major topics always revolve around uh, rifles, not the pistols. So I had this interesting point to share. So if you look at this, let me screen. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah. Now you see this image here. Let me use this pointer. So if you see this photo, most of you will recall immediately, which is this is the image after the finals of Tokyo 2020 Olympics finals. So you see William Shatner from US and Lao Xing from this guy, China, and the third guy, Shang, is also from China. So very interesting to note that there are three different types of guns they are using. Okay, so all three look very different. Now comes the interesting part. So let me discuss this. Let me start with William Shatner, US guy. Most of the US shooters presently are using the Finewalk 800 series, and a couple of them have shifted to 900 series. I've seen off late, but here is a very interesting gun held by William Shatner. This particular stock, what you see, is Pardini. The stock is Pardini stock. Okay, and the grip here is also a Pardini but modified, slightly modified. This is not a Walther grip. Cheek piece is modified. Okay, and the stock of the gun, okay, is Pardini, as I said. But if you see at the mechanism of the gun, this is a Walther. Cylinder is a Walther, and the mechanism of the gun is Walther here. Okay, yes, that means we can fit Walther rifle into a Pardini stock with very little bit of modification required. Yes, the palm plate you see here is again a mech palm plate. Okay, and then the rear side, if you see, is mech spylong. Okay, and the butt plate is mech contact 2, and then the front side is very interesting, which is a disc based front sight and not the regular front sight like the other two are using. And even better, important to note, the tube that is sticking to the barrel of the Walther's barrel, the tube is not of Walther, but it is belonging to Pardini. This is the interesting part. And the sight razors, the rear sight razors for the rifle used here is of Walther sight razor, but the front sight razor, now this belongs to Pardini. Okay, so you understand the extent of modifications that can be done on these rifles. Okay, and coming to the rifle of Shang. Okay, so this is, you have to remember, this is 2020 and 2020 Tokyo, which happened in 2021, but the rifle Monotech was still not out in the market yet. But here you get to see a glimpse of it, but not complete Monotech. So this is not a complete Monotech yet, because the Monotech had this KK 500 body, and Monotech has a silver piece here extended which covers the cylinder. Cylinder is not exposed in Monotech. So that means this is pre-Monotech. So this is the Maybe it was in works or handed to Chinese, or Chinese came up with this idea. We have no clue as of now. But Monotech was later launched. Monotech was due to launch by this time, but how did Chinese figure out this part, that the gun can be modified like this, is something interesting to know. Here, if you look again, the Spylong being used. Cheek piece is again standard cheek piece issued by Walther. Grip standard, but the palm rest, if you see here, is from Feinwerk Bu 800X. Okay, that's why you see this 800 here. And the front sight is again Mex sights tube. It's the regular tube from Walther, and the barrel weights added. So that's what you see here. This is the interesting part about is this. We got to see Monotech before Monotech was actually launched, but this was not the actual Monotech, but maybe a Frankenstein somebody put together. But it did win a bronze medal. Now moving on to my favorite gun, okay, which is the Feinwerk Bu. Okay, so if you see, this is a stock Feinwerk Bu 7 in red. So a lot of people don't even know this gun existed, because a lot of new shooters wouldn't have even seen this gun. Only old timers would have seen this gun. Anybody shooting for at least 10 years now would be aware of these guns. Anybody who started in the last 5 years wouldn't have seen this gun at all. Rare chance. So it's a very beautiful gun. This is what this guy won the silver medal with. So this is absolute stock weapon. Okay, so there's no change in the grip. Butt plate is stock, cheek piece, rear sight, front sight, tube, right? The cylinder, everything is stock. Absolute stock weapon. And not many people would believe that this gun would win an Olympic medal, but it did. Had a silver medal. So all credit to this kid. And he is all of 16 years age. This guy, William Shanner, is 20, and this guy, Shang, is 25. So youngsters winning the Olympic medal this time around. And very interesting part, or the happiest part for me, was using a stock rifle to win an Olympic medal. That's really amazing. So you see here 3 different types. I've explained what are all the settings that have gone into these guns, and not many fancy settings, to be very honest. Butt plate is not too low, cheek piece is not too high, or the sights are on an average height. Not crazy settings, but a lot of modifications you can see here on these guns. And one more important point a lot of people will miss observing is the distance between the cylinder from here to the tube of the Walther mechanism, barrel, and the tube of the tube on the barrel and the cylinder. The gap is slightly longer. So what Shanner has done here, or his coach, is they moved this tube, which is somewhere here. Usually it is at this place. They moved it from here to here. Okay, this a lot of people do to increase the distance between the rear sight and the front sight. Okay, it has reasonable science to it. It does help in increasing the accuracy, but again, it totally depends on shooter. The coach and the shooter have to take a call. Just by extending the barrel, you will not get more accuracy unless the technique is right. So that's it. I hope you understood that guns can be heavily modified and there are no restrictions on that. The only general rules you have to follow is relating to the height and length, overall length of the gun, overall weight of the gun. Those things have to be taken care of. The front sight not being ahead of the barrel, the butt plate 2.5 centimeter mark, depth. Rest. You're free to put whatever works for you, put together and shoot. Okay, so done. Thank you very much, and hope you got a perspective into what are all the modifications relating to the gun, and that's how it works. See you around. Any doubts, you know where to reach. Thank you.